Stop selling features, start selling transformations. The so what test can turn a sterile line like HEPA filter included into a family breathing cleaner air, and it is the single biggest leverage point most copywriters are missing right now. Stick with me for the next 8 minutes, and I will walk you through the exact framework with real-world examples drawn from laptops, software, and running shoes that turns your spec sheet into copy your customers actually feel in their chest. Let's get into it. You know the trap, you've seen it 100 times. A SaaS landing page proudly lists 50 features, a product page drones on about specs, and somewhere in the back, a confused customer is clicking the back button. The post we are covering today calls this the core disconnect, and it is the silent revenue killer in nearly every product page, every email sequence, and every sales deck built by teams who are deeply in love with what they built and completely out of touch with what the buyer actually wants. Here is the uncomfortable truth the post opens with. Customers do not buy features, they buy better versions of themselves. That sentence is worth pausing on. A 1 TB SSD is not purchased because SSDs are interesting. A Gantt chart is not bought because project management is fun. A carbon fiber plate in a running shoe is not sold on the merits of advanced polymer science. Every purchase is really a vote cast for the person the customer wants to become. Your copy has to speak to that vote or it lands on deaf ears. So let us get precise. The blog defines a feature as a factual statement about your product. A technical specification, a component, or a piece of functionality. Features are about the what. A laptop has a 1 TB SSD. Software includes Gantt chart functionality. Running shoes contain a carbon fiber plate. These are true, measurable, verifiable claims. And they are completely sterile on their own because facts without context are just noise waiting for a customer to translate them into something they actually care about. Now flip the camera. A benefit is the positive outcome or result a customer experiences from using that feature. It answers the only question that ever really mattered. What is in it for me? Access files instantly and never worry about running out of space. Visualize your entire project timeline at a glance to prevent bottlenecks. Run faster and with less fatigue, smashing your personal records. Benefits are about the why, the emotional and practical value your product delivers into someone's actual lived life. Features are important, do not get me wrong, but the post is brutal about why listing them by themselves is a waste of your customer's attention. A feature is your perspective. It is the part of the product you are proud of, the spec that took your engineers 6 months to nail. A benefit is your customer's perspective. It is the problem solved, the anxiety removed, the status upgraded. The moment you confuse the two, you start writing copy that reads like an internal product brief instead of a sales conversation. Ready for the secret weapon? It is called the so what test, and the post calls it the simplest, most effective way to bridge the gap between a sterile spec and a benefit that actually moves someone to buy. The mental exercise is almost embarrassingly simple. You state a feature, you ask, so what? You take that answer and you ask, so what? Again, you keep going until you hit a human emotion, a real outcome, or a core need. 3 or 4 rounds usually gets you there. Let us walk through the example the post uses so you can see the test in action. Feature. Our vacuum cleaner has a HEPA filter. So what? So it traps microscopic particles. So what? So the air in your home is cleaner. So what? So your family can breathe easier, reducing allergy symptoms and creating a healthier living environment. Boom. You just went from a technical term to a powerful emotional benefit in 4 questions. The technique is repeatable for every single feature on your product page. Now apply the same test to a different feature from the post. This laptop has a 1 TB SSD. So what? So it stores a massive amount of data. So what? So you never have to delete a single project, photo, or file. So what? So you can carry your entire career, your memories, and your creative library with you wherever you work with zero compromise. See how the language shifts from engineering to lifestyle? That is the test doing its job. That is the copy breathing. Try it on a software feature next. Our software includes Gantt chart functionality. So what? So you can see every task on a timeline. So what? So you spot dependencies and delays before they derail your launch. So what? So you deliver projects on time, your team trusts the plan, and your clients stop firing off panicked Friday emails. Each so what pulls you one layer closer to the buyer's lived experience, and one layer further from the spec sheet your engineers are so proud of. One more from the running shoe world because the contrast is so sharp. These running shoes have a carbon fiber plate. So what? So they return more energy with each stride. So what? So you run faster with the same effort. So what? So you smash your personal record, qualify for the marathon you have been chasing for 2 years, and finally feel like the athlete you train like every morning. That last sentence is the one your customer actually wants to read on the product page. There is a second framework hiding inside this post, and it has been a copywriting staple for decades, the FAB formula. Feature, advantage, benefit. It is a structured way to write a single product line so the customer gets the full arc from what the product is, to why it matters in their world, to the outcome it actually delivers. Think of it as the so what test, but pre-formatted for headlines, bullet points, and product descriptions where every single word has to earn its spot. Let us break down each letter. The F is the feature, the factual, verifiable thing your product has or does. The 1 TB SSD, the HEPA filter, the carbon fiber plate. This is your credibility anchor. It is the proof that what you're about to promise is not vapor. Without a real feature, your benefit is just a wish. With it, your benefit has roots. Your job in the FAB formula is to state the feature in a way that is specific enough to feel true and concrete enough to feel valuable to a skeptical buyer. The A is the advantage, and this is the bridge. The advantage explains what the feature does or what makes it different from the competitor's version of the same thing. The 1 TB SSD is a feature. The fact that it loads files in under 2 seconds is the advantage. A HEPA filter is a feature. The advantage is that it captures 97% of particles down to 0.3 microns. The advantage is where you earn the customer's attention long enough to deliver the punchline waiting for them in the B. And then there is the B, the benefit, the part of the sentence the customer actually remembers. The benefit is the emotional and practical payoff, the version of the story that lives in their world. Faster load times become, you never wait on your machine. Cleaner air becomes, your family breathes easier at night. A fast issue becomes, you finally break the time barrier you have been chasing. The benefit is the part of your copy that earns the click, the add to cart, and the reply email. Let us stitch all 3 letters together on a real product. Running shoes with a carbon fiber plate. Feature, built-in carbon fiber plate in the midsole. Advantage, returns 89% of energy with every stride, far more than traditional foam. Benefit, so you run faster on the same training and finally hit the marathon time you have been chasing for the last 2 seasons. Read that line out loud. Feel the difference between the technical opening and the human payoff. That is the FAB formula in 3 sentences. Try it on the project management tool. Feature, built-in Gantt chart functionality across every project view. Advantage, see dependencies, owners, and deadlines on a single shared timeline. No spreadsheet stitching required. Benefit, so your team ships on time, your clients stop panicking, and you finally get your Friday nights back. Same structure, same arc. Notice how the benefit pulls in language no spec sheet would ever use. Gets your Friday nights back, because that is the actual texture of the customer's life. The post goes deeper than just FAB, and this is where most copywriters plateau. The advanced move is to keep pulling the benefit thread until you reach the identity level transformation. A vacuum cleans floors. So what? So your house looks presentable. So what? So you feel proud when guests drop by. So what? So you become the host you have always wanted to be. The deepest benefits do not sell outcomes. They sell identity upgrades. Your customer is not buying a product. They are buying a version of themselves.